The Tesla Model Y has been a worldwide selling hit, and with good reason, because for a good price you get a lot of range, a lot of horsepower, a lot of tech, and of course that premium Tesla experience. But nowadays Tesla is not alone in this segment that it helped to define, because anybody from Kia to Volkswagen and from Skoda to XPeng, BYD, and basically any serious manufacturer has a car, an electric car in this category, directly competing with the Model Y. Luckily, Tesla is of course an innovative company and went back to the drawing board and has come up with this. This is the Tesla Model Y Standard Edition, which is in many ways a stripped down version of the Model Y, but for a very interesting price, because this one starts under 40,000 euro, and that is a deal no matter how you twist or turn it. My name is Peter, welcome to a new Auto Review video, and the Model Y Standard Edition is a proposition that we're going to have a serious and close look at, because Tesla has taken out a lot of stuff from this car, made it look slightly different. It's different on the inside as well, but they say the Tesla essence is still there. So we're going to see if that is true. Now, there is quite a few visual changes on the outside, starting here on the front with basically an entire new face of the car. The regular one has a light strip over the entire width of the vehicle. That's gone. And the headlights are now single units up there and not the double unit that we're used to. The bumper is completely redesigned and different as well, making for a whole new look. You would almost say it's a different car when you put them side by side. Now, the reason for the different design, and it's a theme that we'll see throughout the whole car inside and out, is that it's cheaper. Less parts, less complications, less manufacturing means it's cheaper to make, and that is the end of it. There's no other reason for it. That is the theme of this vehicle, because less manufacturing cost in the end means a lower price of the whole vehicle, and that is beneficial for us as customers. So Teslas are known for their great frunks, and luckily there still is one, but opening this up, it is completely bare bones in here. You can really see into the structure of the car. There's no fancy dressing or anything going on, just the frunk itself, which is a big size. It fits like a big sports bag or cabin luggage easily. And it's also made of some kind of cheap plastic material. So very functional, and again, much cheaper to make. Then the inside, and it's basically the same story as on the outside. They've taken a lot of stuff away and simplified a lot of things to make it cheaper. So, for example, there's no buttons on the side of my seat to adjust the backrest, for example. That's all done in the screen now. That is a little bit annoying, but it is the Tesla way, because the mirrors, for example, were already with the steering wheel and the screen. And also things like the drive selector is non-existent. That has been in the screen with Teslas for a while as well. Luckily, there is a stalk for your indicators though, so that is nice. Furthermore, there's no ambient lighting here. That's completely gone. The light strip that was going throughout the whole front of the cabin has been taken out because that's something you have to mount and manufacture and everything, so that's expensive. If you take that out, you save money. There's no driver's display here either. There's no center console. It's just a very deep bin. So yeah, it is a little bit sparse in here, I have to say. It's not very exciting, but it is all very functional. Everything does what it needs to do. You can still operate some things with the scroll wheels here on the steering wheel, and everything else is done in the screen. Now, the screen, of course, is one of Tesla's party pieces, so they've just expanded the functionality in the screen, because of course that is endlessly reprogrammable and much cheaper to do than changing physical hardware buttons like on the seat. So there's split opinions here on if this is nice or if they've gone too far. I'll leave it up to you to decide. It is sparse in here, especially in the dark. It's very, there's nothing going on. But it's not that long ago that cars had no interior lights whatsoever anyway. So I can imagine there's also people that don't care for it much and say that's fine with me if that makes the car cheaper. Quality-wise though, everything is fine. Nothing to completely write home about, but also nothing really going wrong. So, everything does what it needs to do. Everything feels solid. Nothing rattles or squeaks when you're driving. So all around, that's fine. If we continue to the side of the car, you notice that this car doesn't have any nice polished rims, but plastic wheel covers. Nothing fancy. They're not really pretty, if I'm honest, but it's cheaper to make. And of course you can spec this car with some fancy rims or put some on by yourself, but that makes the car more expensive. Here on the side view though, you can see that the profile of the car is still the same though, very recognizable as Model Y, because fundamentally the car itself isn't different, of course. They've just changed some things here and there. Moving to the rear of the car, we spot yet more changes because the Model Y is known for its fancy light bar across the rear. That's gone. That is now replaced with these two apostrophes taillights. So still very much the Model Y shape, but different once again. Here in the rear of the Model Y, you can really feel that Model Y magic. It is vast back here. You can fit 3 washing machines, your Christmas tree, 2 dogs, and have your ski holiday. No issues whatsoever. And that's where you really start to feel that this car has been built from the ground up as an EV with lots of practical space. Fantastic, really, really nice. And there's even more space here under where I'm sitting in terms of storage. You can put your charging cable and a bunch of bags there as well. Same principle though, so there is nothing back here, no tie-down points, no hooks, no 12 volts, no absolutely nothing. And things like electrically folding seats are also gone. You now got to do that manually. So same principle yet again, but we still got an electric tailgate, so that's nice. Now the big thing with this Model Y is of course the price. So let's go through the price spectrum together. Now there's basically 2 different sections. You have the standard section, that's the car we're in, and you have the premium section, that's the car with the light bar and the light bar on the back, more toys inside, more things for your money. The standard one though, the one we're in, starts at 39,990 here in the Netherlands. So under 40,000 euro you can already drive a Tesla Model Y. There's also a long range version. That one will set you back 47,000 euros here in the Netherlands. So those 2 are both the standard car. That's what you see here, what I've shown you on the outside and here on the inside. Then there's the premium. That's a step up. That starts at 51,000. That's also rear-wheel drive, but normal range. There's a long-range all-wheel drive version for 54,000. And there's the performance version, also all-wheel drive, for 63,000. So another huge jump there. So effectively 2 categories, standard and premium. And within those, you can pick if you want long range, standard range, or performance for the premium one, and regular and long range for this standard model. Here in the back of the Model Y, it's the same story as the boot. The space is fantastic. Sitting behind myself in my driving position, I got about this much space until my knees hit the seat. That is soft in the back, so even if they would hit, it's not an issue. So adults, children alike, no problem back here whatsoever. It is really, really impressive. But once again, stuff has been taken out. So the rear seats are just seats now, so they're not heated nor cooled or anything. There's no screen back here anymore. There's no features really whatsoever apart from a window switch and a little reading light. So it's pretty sparse, but the space and everything else, the fundamentals are still there. Now, of course, we have to do a little bit of driving, and that is where Tesla starts to regain some points. Because you can make the argument that the changes on the outside and the minimalistic approach here on the inside are certainly not for everyone. And you could even say that it is a completely different proposition to the regular Model Y. And that's fair. It's certainly not for everyone, and I think there is certainly an argument to be made in that direction. But once you start driving the car, you have to start interacting with it. And main interaction point, of course, is the screen and the software. And that is where you start to feel that Tesla magic. Obviously, Tesla was one of the pioneers of this style of control of the car, where you do everything from your mirror settings to your navigation to your superchargers to everything. And that is real core of the Tesla experience. And then when you sit here and you're holding a Tesla steering wheel and you're looking over a Tesla hood through a Tesla window with a Tesla interior, then suddenly the things like the different bumper and the lights and the light bar on the back and the lack of buttons on the seats sort of fade to the background a little bit. And it's really interesting that Tesla has managed to keep that balance of keeping that magic alive so well. And I think they've done a good job there, because the Tesla experience is certainly still here, and it's still very tangible, because in modern cars, and Teslas especially, of course, every time you sit in the car, you're interacting with the screen, whether it's changing the radio station to putting in your destination. It's all centered around this infotainment screen. Driving around in general in this car is exactly what you expect from a Model Y. So size-wise, it's very nice actually, because I've said it before. And I'll say it again here, this size vehicle is very pleasant to maneuver. It gives you all the benefits of the space inside, especially with a car as well packaged as this one, without too much of a penalty on the outside, where the car is big but not enormous, and you can still navigate this fairly normal in underground parkings or in any kind of tighter situation without too much issue. And they've kept the essence alive in terms of connectivity and cameras and so on as well. So it still has enough tech for you to be, I wouldn't say wowed anymore these days, but to make it a very easy car to live with. And then we stop to charge the car, and of course we do that at a supercharger station, and that is another part of that Tesla equation, the Tesla magic, that whole ecosystem is basically flawless. The superchargers, how it works with your navigation, your destination, where you live, your route to work, all those things work seamlessly together. And of course Tesla has been doing this for 100 years and they control the entire ecosystem, so it can work optimally, but it really does. And it's so nice to not have to worry about that. If you have a supercharger near where you live, it's really, really easy. And also when you do longer journeys, because you know this car does not have the biggest battery, but if you do longer journeys, road trips, holidays, doesn't matter, it all works together. And that is super nice. And I think that is a really strong proposition for this car. And I think that's a good thing to note, by the way, that it is a proposition to a price point, of course. People with a certain lease budget, people with a certain personal budget, that want the ecosystem, that want the power of the Tesla network, but maybe can't afford a, let's say, full-fat Model Y. For those people, there's now an alternative, because there's so many other brands and cars that offer something in this space, but none of them have the power of the whole ecosystem behind them like Tesla has. So if you want to buy into that ecosystem, the app, the software, the supercharging, the whole experience, then you now can with this car. So we are at the supercharger, and it's funny, I'll grab this camera so you can actually see what I'm seeing. So over there is the old Model Y and the new Model Y next to each other. So with this one that we're in, you have the 3 generations almost of Model Ys next to each other. The old one is starting to show its age a little bit, but it still looks good. The new one, the modern one, looks really nice and futuristic, I think. It's a good looking vehicle. And I can imagine that if you have this one, the standard one, and you park it next to the normal one, or it's in your street or something, I can imagine it does sting just a little bit, because it is the full fat one, so to speak, is better looking for sure. So I can imagine that could potentially hurt a little bit. So after driving this car for a week, we of course have to answer the question, is this enough of a Tesla Model Y that you might want to buy it for 10K less than the full fat one? Have they kept enough of the Tesla essence alive? I think it's a two-part answer. On the one hand, yes, it is. It is 80% of what the normal full-fat Model Y is, with that ecosystem, with the software, with the app, with everything that Tesla embodies. And yes, costs have been cut, but I think that is, justifiable in many ways. And it allows people that reach a certain ceiling in terms of their lease contract or personal finance or something, and it allows those people a lower threshold to enter the Tesla ecosystem. And I think that's smart, and I think that is very justifiable. And they've done it in a way where most of the essence of the Model Y is kept. On the other hand, a car is an expensive purchase no matter how you twist or turn it, and a car is also a place where you generally spend quite a lot of time. And I think, personally, for me, that little luxuries like a button on your seat, a panoramic roof, nice interior lights at night, I think that's worth waiting for and spending a little bit more time saving up to purchase the full fat car. I'm certainly not going to sit here and argue that you should definitely not buy this car. I think if you like Tesla, if you want to be part of that ecosystem, then Tesla has done a great job in making that threshold lower and allowing more people in that way, which is good. And I think if you reach a certain budgetary ceiling and you want a Tesla and you can afford this one over the full fat one, you should certainly go for it. But for me personally, I like those extra luxuries and I would save a little bit longer. So that's all I got for you in this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you are okay with this standard version with all its downsides, quote unquote, and cost cuts, or if you would, like me, save a little bit longer and get the full fat one. Curious to read. For now, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys again in the next video.